When you reach your mid-60s, something subtle begins to happen inside you, something most people don't talk about. Yet everyone who lives long enough eventually feels it isn't loud. It doesn't come in one dramatic moment. It arrives like dawn, quiet, steady, undeniable. A soft emotional shift that rewrites the way you see the world, the people in it, and the way you once moved through your days. You wake up one morning and realize you don't carry things the same way anymore. You don't hold on to old slights with the same tight grip. You don't chase after explanations or apologies the way you once did. The need to prove yourself fades. The desire to be understood softens. What once felt urgent now feels optional. And what once felt heavy suddenly feels like something you can set down. People think aging is about loss. But if you listen closely, if you look beneath the surface, you'll find that aging is also about release, a clearing of space, a great emotional decluttering. It's the moment you understand that not everything deserves your energy, your time, or your worry. You begin to see your peace as something worth protecting, not something you give away freely. There was a woman, let's call her Marie, who spent her whole life trying to hold her friendships together. She was the one who called first. She remembered birthdays. She showed up even when she was tired. But one afternoon, at 68 years old, she sat through another lunch with an old friend who barely asked how she was doing. Someone who spent the whole time talking about herself, her complaints, her grievances, and something shifted, not with anger, but with clarity. On her drive home, Marie realized she felt lighter at the thought of letting that friendship rest. For decades, she had believed that stepping back would make her a bad friend. But now she understood that it simply made her an honest one. She understood that peace wasn't something other people gave her, it was something she chose. And on that day, she finally chose herself. There's a wisdom that appears after 65, and it whispers, you are allowed to walk away from what drains you. It is not the wisdom of defiance, but the wisdom of understanding what your heart can realistically hold. Another man, David, spent his life rushing, meetings, deadlines, children to raise. He was like a windstorm, always moving, always pushing. But after retirement, he stumbled into a new ritual by accident. Each morning, he'd take his tea out onto the porch. The steam rising, the birds waking, the world not yet demanding anything of him. And day after day, this small moment became the first place he ever allowed himself to breathe deeply. One morning, months after this routine had quietly become his sanctuary, he realized it had healed something in him. The long-forgotten ability to simply be, to exist without performing, to feel without running. He hadn't known how starved he was for stillness until life offered it, finally, without guilt. He wasn't losing activity, he was gaining presence. That is one of the great emotional shifts of this age. Solitude becomes nourishment, not loneliness. Silence becomes grounding, not empty. You learn that your own company is enough. There's also a moment, sometimes small, sometimes seismic, when you finally learn how to say no without guilt. For some people, this is the hardest lesson of all. A woman named Ruth spent her entire life fulfilling every family obligation placed before her. Holidays meant hosting. Weekends meant helping. Favors were expected, not asked for. But one autumn, at 70 years old, she received yet another request that she didn't have the strength for. And instead of automatically agreeing, she paused and simply said, I can't this time. The world didn't collapse. The family didn't fall apart. She didn't lose love. What she gained was respect first from herself, and then slowly from those around her. Because when you reach this stage of life, clarity becomes your compass. You learn that protecting your well-being is not selfishness, it is self-respect, and peace, once protected, grows. These emotional shifts aren't random, they're earned. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every year spent caring for others, these experiences shape a new way of seeing. After 65, you realize that much of what once troubled you wasn't truly about you. People's judgments weren't reflections of your worth. Many conflicts weren't battles you needed to fight, and many expectations you carried were never yours to begin with. You start understanding patterns. You see certain behaviors for what they really were. The regrets you held soften into lessons. The anger you carried loses its sharpness. The stories you told yourself begin to change. And one day, you wake up and feel the calm that comes from no longer needing to be right all the time. You'd rather be at peace than win an argument. You'd rather protect your energy than prove your point. You begin choosing where to place your thoughts instead of letting them wander where they please. There is an emotional maturity that blooms late in life, and it is one of the most beautiful gifts age can give. You learn to love differently, more gently, more deeply, but with better boundaries. You learn to forgive differently, not to erase the past, but to free yourself from it. You learn to listen to your body's wisdom. You become more patient with your own heart. At this stage, you see relationships in a new light. The people who matter become clearer. The ones who lift you, encourage you, energize you. They stand out like beacons. The ones who drain you blend into the background until you simply stop walking toward them. You begin nurturing the relationships that feel like home and allowing the rest to drift. You also develop a deeper gratitude, one that isn't loud or showy but steady and quiet. Gratitude for breath, for mornings, for the people who stayed, for the wisdom that cost you so much, yet you wouldn't trade for anything. And even in the face of loss, something remarkable happens. You find the strength to keep loving, to keep learning, to keep opening your heart, because you understand now that every moment is precious, not fragile, but precious, and you treat it with the reverence it deserves. If you're listening to this and you've already reached this stage, or you're approaching it, know this: none of these emotional shifts mean you are fading. They mean you are refining. You are becoming more yourself than you have ever been. You are shedding the unnecessary and embracing the essential. This next chapter of life is not about decline. It is about clarity, peace, emotional freedom. It is about choosing your days instead of enduring them. It is about being brave enough to honor your heart, even if the world doesn't understand. And as this video comes to a close, if these words resonated with you, if some part of you whispered, "Yes, I feel this too," then stay with me just a few moments longer, because your story does not end at 65. Your wisdom is just beginning to speak, and the next chapter holds more peace, more depth, and more quiet joy than you've ever known. Thank you for spending this time with me. And if you'd like more reflections like this, more stories, more gentle truths, more echoes of wisdom, then stay with this channel a little longer. Your presence here matters. Your voice still echoes, and your journey is far from over. Your heart is still learning. Your spirit is still growing, and your wisdom is just beginning to bloom.